When we're building the foundation of our emotional intelligence skills, we're essentially practicing radical personal responsibility, which does not ignore the things that have happened to you. This is a necessary piece of self-discovery, is acknowledging the reality, what really happened, what really went on. Now, radical personal responsibility moves from the focus of outward of those things to inward. And when that focus moves inward, basically we're assessing what was the impact to me? What is the impact to me? What are the lingering effects? What's the shift that happened in identity or authenticity? What's the wall that I've been constructing? What's the emotional disruption that continues to occur? What's the thinking narrative or internal dialogue that associates with the occurrences? What's the behavioral impact? What about impact to mood, relationships, self-confidence, self-assuredness, performance? And by bringing that focus inward, we do something that's really important, because this is where you as the individual can have the biggest impact. When we think about putting our focus outward, we're really focusing on things that are not within our control, like changing another person or changing other people. Not likely. Altering the circumstances, we can't go into the past and alter what has already happened. But us, yes, this is where we can have a very big impact. And the most effective way to practice radical personal responsibility is starting at the foundation of our emotional intelligence skills, emotional self-awareness, and impulse control. Now, what does that actually mean? It means giving ourselves time and space to pause and examine our emotions, to check in with ourselves, to self-regulate. And in that awareness and regulation, we do things differently. And the things we may do differently is everything from our behavior to our thinking patterns, to our responses, to how we generate relationships, to how we perform, to how we solve problems, to our levels of motivation and well-being. One of the practices that I developed is BFIT. It's an acronym. So it stands for breath and body. In 3 inhales and exhales, moving our attention inward, noticing our breath, and focusing on our body, specifically the signals our body is giving us. And when we can focus on our body, what we will find is we have feelings. So the F stands for identifying how our body feels and translating those feelings to emotion words. So if you have a knot in your stomach, what's the emotion word? Anxiety, stress, disappointment. For everyone, those words will be different. For everyone, the body signals will be different. Once we can identify the emotions we're experiencing, then we move to inquiry. So B is breath and body, F is feelings, I is inquiry. What is going on that's contributing to how we're feeling? And what is going on is really related to not just the outward circumstances, the inward attachment and meaning. So what thinking is going on, what judgment is present of ourselves, of others, of the circumstances, what assumptions are being made, what stories or predictions are we telling ourselves? Because that is how we create the experience we're having. And by recognizing what's contributing, we can move ourselves to T, which is to take wise action. It's only when we acknowledge the entirety of what is going on and what we're in control of that we can then land on a wise action to take. Otherwise, it's a little bit like putting a blindfold on and throwing a dart and hoping that you hit the right thing or solve the right problem.